SummerSlam is this weekend. It's the hottest party of the summer, and we have an absolutely stacked 2 nights. Yes, we have the first ever 2-night SummerSlam. We have an absolutely stacked card on both nights. I'm super excited to get over this card with you guys, give you my predictions on all of the matches, and figure out if we're going to have some really big moments on the first night. Two-night SummerSlam. So starting off night 1, we have Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. Now, I don't know if this match opens the night, but I think this is probably the most low-profile match on the card. Even though, let's be real, they're not two low-profile guys. Karrion Kross himself has becoming a pretty big guy on the roster. A lot of fans are getting behind him with the We Want Kross movement. And let's be real, Sami Zayn is one of the biggest stars, especially one of the biggest guys to not win a world title. He finally had that Intercontinental title. But Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross is an interesting one for me. We've seen this little running feud they had, and every single time Sami Zayn would win, and now Karrion Kross has the upper hand with this whole I win, you have to embrace your darker side, and I believe it's all been leading to that. I do believe that it's going to make a lot of sense for Karrion Kross to go over here and Sami Zayn to kind of embrace a more darker side. I don't know if that entails definitely being like a heel per se, but I do believe it's going to give him more of the I'm not just a super baby face that wears the flannel and saves my friends and gets beaten up by the bad guys. So I do think Karrion Kross wins this one. Don't know if it's clean unless we have a situation that Sami Zayn cheats to beat Karrion Kross, and that was that hint that he was going to get at, and it shows that Sami Zayn isn't really a good guy and is a bad guy. I just don't see Sami Zayn being a bad guy by the Royal Rumble because I do think he's going to win the Royal Rumble. So I'm going to say Karrion Kross wins this one and Sami Zayn starts hinting towards not being the super babyface. Or Sami Zayn just cheats. Next up, we got the women's tag team match with the Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez against Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Now, this one is weird for me. I think this is when we get our first shenanigans. I think one of them turns on the other. Now, I know you guys are going to say it's too early, it's too early, too early. I just think the way the Judgment Day is set up, and for the fact that we're going to want Liv Morgan to come back and be upset that she was replaced, I feel that they need those tag team titles on Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez's shoulders. Because if she comes back and it's like, oh, they were just all friends, they lost the titles that we worked for, she's not really an asset, let's just get rid of her type thing, then it's like, all right. But at the same time, we might have a situation where none of the Judgment Day has titles by the end of the month, and it's a whole situation of, oh, Liv Morgan was actually what was holding us together. So I've been back and forth on this one. As you guys know, I am a huge fan of Charlotte Flair. I'm a big Alexa Bliss guy as well. I just don't see many avenues that we're going to go moving forward with the SmackDown women's division for them to have too much flavor and sauce compared to Roxanne and Raquel could. If Rhea doesn't win the title, we get a Rhea and Io tag team, we get a Rhea and Stephanie Valkyria tag team, any type of situation like that. I just think there's so much more for Raquel and Roxanne on Raw. I'm going to say they retain, and we might get a turn between Alexa and Charlotte that sets us up for a feud that could last all the way to WrestleMania. Now we have our celebrity match. We have Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. I think they're calling this RK Roll. I think that is ridiculous of a team name. Please don't let that stick. Against Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Now I know a lot of people are getting worried because Drew McIntyre is supposedly stuck overseas. Guys, I am sure they have a private jet that flew his passport there the day that it happened, and he came back right away, and he's just trying to build the hype behind it. Here's my situation. With these type of matches, it's almost always that the good guy celebrity wins. So I do think Randy Orton and Jelly Roll are going to win. I just want to get this point out there. Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre deserve significantly more than this. They are two massive stars, and you could have put so many different people in these positions. You could have done Miz and Logan Paul reunite, even though Miz did him dirty. You could have put LA Knight and Jelly Roll, because like LA Knight, he's not Randy Orton. I love LA Knight. LA Knight's the megastar, but like LA Knight doesn't have anything going on right now after Seth got hurt. You throw him in this and give him something. You know, LA Knight's not even on the card. Randy Orton could have faced literally anybody and it would have elevated that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have ran Randy Orton and Drew one-on-one and you could have done LA Knight Jelly Roll against Miz and Logan Paul. You know what I'm saying? Any other heel with Logan Paul, Dominic and Logan Paul, you know, even though obviously Dominic has a match, but it's just these celebrity matches, I'm okay with it. I say it all the time. I'm cool with the celebrity matches. They don't bother me. There's nothing about celebrity matches where I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's going to happen. I've accepted that that's a part of WWE. I just think it's unfair to put two made superstars that don't need Jelly Roll and Logan Paul to elevate their superstardom to just be in these spots where it's like, bro, you could do stuff with them. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, very obvious. Randy Orton and Jelly Roll are winning this match. Now, we got our first championship match I want to talk about. It's Tiffany Stratton against Jade Cargill. This one was super tough for me for two reasons. Number one, I don't want Tiffany Stratton to lose the title because she's arguably the best champion in the WWE right now. Whether it's defending the title, whether it's getting in people's heads, whether it's like actually having matches that we want to see, Tiffany Stratton, in my opinion, is the best champion in the WWE. Unfortunately for her, Jade Cargill is in a situation where there's a lot of storylines that make sense for Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill can run the Charlotte Flair storyline. Then she got to have the crown jewel match against Naomi. Foreshadowing. Then we got to see her and Bianca run it. And I believe titles will make it significantly better. And I do believe it's going to elevate her status. Tiffany Stratton, unfortunately, is in a situation where she's kind of ran through everyone on her show. And she's looked dominant. And she's made everything look good. Where whatever she does next, it's going to be elevated because she's proven to be a good champion. I just think, unfortunately, she runs into a Jade Cargill that it makes way too much sense for her to win the title, get elevated herself, become a champion, and now have storylines that she has play out. So with that being said, I do believe we see a Jaded. I also think Tiffany's going to sell the Jaded really, really well for Jade Cargill, and it's going to look awesome when she wins the title. Jade Cargill is going to walk out as your champion. Now, listen, I know we've talked about Michael Cole saying what the main event is. I do believe Gunther and CM Punk should be the main event, but this match that I'm going to talk about next might actually end up being the main event, especially with everything that's going on in the feud, and that is Roman Reigns and Jey Uso against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Now, Bronson Reed has literally humiliated Roman Reigns. Braun Breaker has stole his promo. That's my cameraman. This is my ring. This is my company. These are my people, which was awesome. I know a lot of people were hating on it, being like, he's got to get his own flow. I understand it, but that was awesome in my eyes. With that being said, I am in a weird spot here because I think, here's my scenarios on this. Jey Uso cannot take another pin. He literally took a pin to Braun Breaker in a gauntlet after he was eating the entire time, after being choked out by Gunther for his title. I believe he takes another clean pin. We're not talking about Jey Uso as main event Jey Uso anymore. At the same time, I do not think Braun Breaker can take a pin because Braun Breaker ran through everybody and it took a assistance from Roman Reigns to get involved to stop Braun Breaker for being the guy to compete for the world title. And I believe that if they're really going to try to build him up and make Braun Breaker seem super serious, he cannot take a pin. That leaves Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed are the only two people who can take a pin. Roman Reigns doesn't need to pin Bronson Reed to elevate his star at all. It doesn't really do anything for him, right? It's more of a, all right, we're just doing this to get it out of the way. The only thing that makes sense, in my opinion, in this situation is if you want to make Braun Breaker main event level talent and you want to have a feud that can actually elevate the guy, you have Braun Breaker pin Roman Reigns and we set up a singles feud between the two guys, right? I think that's the only thing that makes sense in this position. Now, I might be overthinking it, and it could just be like a, hey, Roman Reigns is going to get his get back. He's going to pin Bronson Reed, get his shoes back. We're all happy, right? It might be a situation where it's like, all right, we need to elevate Jey Uso again, and Jey Uso pins Bronson Reed. I just think the only, like, literally the only outcome I see is Braun Breaker pinning Roman Reigns here. Now, could another guy of the faction end up showing up and helping Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed? Could somebody that has beef with Roman Reigns show up and go against him, like a Drew McIntyre ends up claymoring him after he's pissed off because he lost the Jelly Roll match? Easily. I just don't see many scenarios outside of Braun Breaker pinning Roman Reigns in this situation that end up happening. With that being said, if you want to make Braun Breaker a star and you want to make Seth Rollins' faction really that scary, you have to win this match. I'm taking Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed in this. Now, the final match of night one and what should be the main event is Gunther and CM Punk. I'm going to make this easy for you guys. Gunther is a great champion in my eyes. I've said it many, many times. Gunther is the type of guy where it's just like everything he does is believable. And I think that they should have made it even harder. Like, they should have had him beat the absolute crap out of CM Punk. What he did to Jimmy before the match with Jay at WrestleMania, he should be doing to everybody. Like, he should be beating up anyone that's friends with CM Punk. He should should literally say that he's going to go to his house and steal his dog or something, you know? Like, make Gunther seem like a vicious bad guy. And the one thing is, I got to make a video on this. Have you guys realized, I know he's the ring general. He is a heel. This man never cheats. He never does anything that's super slimy or grimy in the ring. I don't know if you guys have ever realized that. Yeah, I know he's got the respect for the mat, but he's a heel that could be so much more of a heel. With that said, they're crowning CM Punk. I mean, come on. Like, CM Punk with the title, leading into potentially having a championship match against John Cena, potentially having a crown jewel match against John Cena if John Cena walks out as champion. And we can finally have the CM Punk and Cody Rhodes match that we should have had potentially at WrestleMania that they were talking about and alluding to if CM Punk wins the title back. CM Punk has so much more storylines to work with now as champion and people chasing him rather than him chasing the title. I think it's got to be CM Punk. I think this is going to be his first title back in the WWE, and I think it's going to be an awesome moment for him, and I think it's going to be amazing. Question is, does Seth Rollins cash in? I do think he's actually injured. Now, we'll get to that point a little bit later. I just want you to know, I do think he's injured. I do think that he is going to have an amazing cash in. I just don't think it happens at SummerSlam. Now, we're off to night 2, and this match is what I think is going to be match of the weekend. I think it's going to be the match that people remember SummerSlam for, and that's going to be the TLC match between the Wyatt Six, DIY, Street Profits, Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, and Andrade and Rey Fenix. I think this match is going to cook. Everyone talked about how at WrestleMania we should have had that TLC match they had on SmackDown. I think this match needs a lot of time. They have to give this match 20 plus minutes, and I don't think they had time for that in WrestleMania, is why they had it go on SmackDown. And I also believe that because of all the moments that happened at WrestleMania, that match might have gotten forgotten, which is why they have it on SmackDown. I actually don't think we have as many shenanigans at SummerSlam as we had at WrestleMania, which is why I do think this match is going to be the most remembered match. It's going to be the biggest match. All these teams are going to cook. Unfortunately, I don't think the Wyatt Six walk out with this. I also don't see any way any other team except one team really wins this, because I think the Street Profits need to get moved to Monday Night Raw. I've said this for a while. Whenever they do the Superstar Scramble or draft or whatever they do, the Street Profits look more like a Monday Night Raw team. They are big, they are bad, they are vicious, they have a cool theme song. Everything about them would cook significantly more on Monday Night Raw. And there's one team that hasn't had a chance to run it with all of these teams and feud with them for the titles, and that is Andrade and Rey Fenix. I believe the whole reason they put them together is to have them win the tag team titles. I believe the whole reason is for them to eventually split up and then the Lucha Bros come back together. I think Andrade and Rey Fenix are going to end up winning the TLC match. I think it's going to be absolutely fire. I think Rey Fenix finally gets a title in the WWE, and I think Andrade and Rey Fenix are going to make a fire tag team as champion. I also don't know if you guys realize this, but night 2 is literally all championship matches. So moving on to the next championship match, we have Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles. Now, Dominic Mysterio has a lot of stuff going on right now. His girlfriend is gone, Liv Morgan. He's got another girl that's in his faction flirting with him. He's got one of his best friends in his faction trying to break him and his girlfriend up and trying to make sure that he keeps losing and losing and losing. And everyone else is acting like they're blind to it. AJ Styles has a storyline with the title that I think is going to get visited, and that is AJ Styles against John Cena, which is arguably John Cena's best in-ring feud that he has. And also John Cena is one title away from Grand Slam champion, which is the IC title. I think AJ Styles wins the title here. I also believe they're going to be setting up Dominic Mysterio to potentially win the AAA championship. So it wouldn't make sense for him to have the IC and AAA title. It's going to be too much going back and forth for him. I do think Dominic Mysterio loses his title here, and I do believe that he goes down to AAA and wins the AAA title at some point. I don't know if he does it at Triple Mania, but I do believe here he loses the title to AJ Styles. And don't forget, we're getting that AJ Styles and John Cena match for the title. Now, this next match, I think, is flying a little bit under the radar because it is a steel cage match, and it is Solo Sikoa against Jacob Fatu. I don't really have much to talk about with this match, but I will say this. I know you're going to think I'm crazy. I don't think Jacob should win this match. I believe that Solo Sikoa's faction is going to end up like not letting Jacob Fatu climb out of the ring, maybe even pull off one of the sides of the cage to let Solo get out. I think Solo Sikoa's faction will actually look significantly stronger on SmackDown if he wins this title and this title match. And I believe Jacob Fatu is going to be elevated to start going after main event level guys. I also believe that Jacob Fatu is then going to end up, after he and Roman lose, talk about working together to take down Solo Sikoa's faction. The big thing for me here, Solo Sikoa has elevation with the US title. Jacob Fatu is clearly significantly bigger than it. That's my biggest thought process on it. Solo is a US champion right now. Solo defending the US champion like a heel will make his faction look stronger and Solo look stronger. Jacob loses, goes to main event scene. We're all happy, correct? What does that mean? Let's have Solo win this match. Now, this is a match that I think will have a little bit of shenanigans. It's the Intercontinental Championship between Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. Bayley's getting involved. I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you right away. Bayley is getting involved, and Bayley's going to cost Becky Lynch. And I believe Lyra Valkyria will become champion again. And I believe we'll get a feud between Becky Lynch and Bayley. I believe it's going to be one of their swan song type of feuds. Because both of those women, they don't really need much. They've both been world champions. They both had feuds against everybody else. They both have situations where if we have a nice, fun feud between them, you have them on TV, you have them both be vicious against each other. And I believe that makes the most sense for them. And I believe Lyra Valkyria is just only going to be elevated with that title. I believe that she is then going to keep facing other women. And I do believe she eventually probably loses the title, probably to Stephanie Valkyria. Because I do think Stephanie Valkyria does lose at Clash. I know I'm giving a little bit of a early spoiler prediction, but I believe Stephanie Valkyria is going to end up taking the title off Lyra a little bit later. So let Lyra get it back. Let her run with it a little bit. I think this match is going to cook. These two women are really good. They've had really great matches against each other. I just don't see any way that Becky Lynch holding the title anymore makes any sense. You give it to the younger girl, have her elevate the title as much as she can, and then on to the next one. Now, I think that this is the most obvious match on the entire card. It's the women's triple threat match. I think Naomi wins this match. I'm just going to come out and tell you right now, Io Sky doesn't make sense to win the title back. Rhea doesn't make sense to win the title back. I believe both of those women need to run without the title for a little bit. Maybe even tag team with each other and try to take the titles off of Raquel and Roxanne. Naomi still needs to have her feud with Jade Cargill at Crown Jewel, where they see who the best out of the two is. I think Naomi has to win that as well. And then she has to feud with Bianca. I would love a triple threat match at WrestleMania. You could do a winner take all. I don't care. Have the two belts, whatever. I know people hate having someone be undisputed champion. Naomi walks into WrestleMania. Jade Cargill walks into WrestleMania. Bianca walks into WrestleMania. Triple threat match. Whichever title ends up being on the line, I'm okay with it. Naomi is too much on fire right now. Naomi has too much going on for her character-wise. That belt only helps her elevate it, especially if she starts cheating and sneaking her way around with the title. I think it's going to make way too much sense, and I would love to see Naomi continue feuding with other people. Have that Stephanie Valkyria feud, because that is someone that I feel like she can make magic with in the ring. Naomi walks out as your champion, and I'm excited to see what Io Sky and Rhea Ripley have next for them. And finally, the main event of all of SummerSlam, it is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes in a Bloodline street fight. Here's my big thing. When this was announced to be a street fight, this is where I changed my mind on the whole entire match. If you go back to me predicting John Cena's year, I said that John Cena would end up losing the title to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. And I predicted this, I think it was January or February that I made that video? Predicted this forever ago. I said when he wins this title at WrestleMania from Cody Rhodes, he is then going to lose it to him at SummerSlam and go babyface. The fact that they made this a street fight has told me that they are running back WrestleMania 40. You're going to have run-ins. You're going to have people getting involved. You're going to have probably a million things happen. This time, it's going to be the opposite of what happened at WrestleMania 40, and Cody loses. John Cena is going to walk out with the title. Now, a lot of you are going to be like, what the frick are you talking about? The reason why I think John Cena walks out with the title is I believe that John Cena's heel turn has just started to cook up. What John Cena did with CM Punk and Randy Orton literally has just started to cook us up. What he ended up doing with R-Truth has just started to cook us up. And I believe the fans have not completely helped him turn yet. I also believe that John Cena is going to end up a 2-belt holder when John Cena wins the IC title from AJ Styles. And we talk about this being one of the greatest years in professional wrestling, where John Cena went from being a super babyface that's just trying to retire to one of the biggest heels in the company, to a 17-time world champion, to a Grand Slam champion, to then eventually losing the title, both titles, in the last probably month of his run, and probably elevating 2 stars. Cody Rhodes obviously being the guy who wins the title back from him. But John Cena walking out of SummerSlam as champion, I believe will be received significantly more than a lot of people are thinking. I'm telling you. The place will go absolutely ballistic. It's going to have people thinking, holy smokes, John Cena might actually retire with the title, because that's the whole conversation we're having. And I believe if you have him lose it in August, it kind of makes the retirement tour start to fall flat. So with that being said, I think, like I said, John Cena wins. Hopefully The Rock's not involved, but let's be real, more than likely he's going to be. I think John Cena walks out with that belt. Let me know what you guys think on the predictions. Let me know where you guys think I'm off or crazy down in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed the prediction video, do me one small favor. Hit that subscription button, like it, ring that bell for notifications. I'm going to be at SummerSlam. I'm going to be updating all you guys on my Instagram and on my TikTok. I love y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is much love from me, Allenownz, to you guys. Peace.